Gary Black calls Warren Redlich a Tesla Uber bull, and he just sold 20% of his Tesla stock. He hated to do it. So naturally, the stock jumps as a lot of good news has just been confirmed. We're talking about good China weekly numbers, global Model Y inventory being at the new low for the trailing quarter, Cybertruck ramping faster than expected, and on top of that, good Tesla semi news, which I will make a separate video about, and most importantly, people clicking the like button. But why is Warren selling Tesla stock? He explains the risks. Number one, the shareholders vote no on the compensation package. Number two, this would be correctly seen as a vote of no confidence in Elon. Number three, Elon is likely to leave if it happens. Or if Elon leaves, the AI team leaves quickly, the dream is dead, the stock collapses, and the company never recovers. But looking at the fact that Warren Redlich did not sell everything, he only sold 20%, it's not even a third, not even a half, I don't think he really fully thinks it's likely to happen. I think he sees a risk, but he's not really thinking it will actually happen. Elon stated before that even without him, he thinks Tesla will solve FSD, which is, I think, where most of the value is going to come from for Tesla's valuation in the future. But without Elon Musk, I don't think the Tesla bot would come to fruition in a big scale. In the meantime, we got good news. This is huge. Cybertruck production continues moving along at Texas with around 200 produced daily now. If, let's say, Elon leaves, what I think would happen would be Tesla would become a much more conservative company. Tesla would start advertising heavily. Tesla would be releasing models left and right, probably to have something for every single market segment. Basically, Tesla would start doing every single thing that Wall Street wants Tesla to do. And unless Elon Musk starts another EV company, I don't think everyone is just going to leave. Also, it's in Elon's best interest, if he does leave, to have someone run Tesla who is actually really capable, because he does have a lot of Tesla stock, and I don't think he just wants that stock to collapse. So I don't think the worst case scenario is really all that horribly bad. Tesla released a new video, and this was in that video. This interior has never been seen before. And we know that Tesla is actively working on a Robotaxi to unveil it on August 8th. So this got people talking. This appears to be a two-seater vehicle without a steering wheel, and the seats don't really resemble seats of a regular vehicle. They look to me like what you would maybe find on a public transport vehicle. Keep in mind, this is just a concept. I think this might not be a final product at all. And I did say before that to me, it does make sense to have a two-seater vehicle in the beginning because you will have lower costs, and based on what Uber says, about 90% of all of the rides happen with one or two passengers anyway. And if you do need a 4-people vehicle, you can call a Model 3 or a Model Y. There will be plenty of those. And then later, eventually, Tesla can still make a 4-seater or 5-seater Robotaxi. I just think it makes more sense to start with a 2-seater. I just hope it will feel spacious inside. Troy, though, is not happy. This looks uncomfortable, cramped, and uninspiring. I'm going to reserve my judgment until I actually see the final product. This is just a prototype, and I'm sure there are going to be many iterations of that prototype. And eventually, even when Tesla launches it, it will probably need to iterate on the initial design a few times. I think it also, in the long term, might make sense to have different tiers of the Robotaxi. One, cheap as heck. And then another version, more luxurious, more stylish, more comfortable, more spacious, but also much more expensive. Omar hears it smells bad in there too. It must be the fart mode. I'm pretty tall, and when I call an Uber, I love it when a Tesla comes because Tesla vehicles are generally a bit more spacious for how I am built. If another brand comes, I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna be fine, but Tesla vehicles to me feel more spacious, so I don't think you're gonna feel cramped in the Robotaxi. Maybe it looks so from this design, but the final product, I think, is not gonna make you feel cramped. Maybe the idea is you can sit in the middle if you are by yourself. I would prefer that because I like seeing the road in front of me and me being in the middle of the car. That's also safer, I think. And see how there's this armrest that you can just put up? Yeah, so maybe you can actually sit in the middle. I don't know how comfortable that would be though. It doesn't look like it would be great, but We'll see. You also got to remember that most Robotaxi rides are going to be short rides, and for a longer ride, you can call a more comfortable Robotaxi. There's also a quick sneak peek of Tesla's upcoming ride-hailing app released in their shareholder video. FSD v12.4 has now rolled out to employees this past weekend, and if all looks good, we should all have it soon in our cars. And this is Boris Johnson, who was the UK's Prime Minister, and he's driving on FSD beta. So Tesla put the former Prime Minister in this Tesla in LA with his wife and baby in the car, and he was blown away. He says, "I can report, ladies and gents, that the overall effect is astonishing. It's so human," I gasped. "So smooth. At the end of about 45 minutes, I feel like a driving test examiner, except that I want to tell the car that it has passed with flying colors." I wonder if he's driving on V12.4. Well, I think this gives us a hint. A Tesla official said it doesn't yet recognize that gesture, but we are fixing it for the next iteration, talking about hand gestures like stop, showing this to the car or something like that. But it should be done next month, so he's not driving on 12.4. But FSD works better in LA, and he believes that self-driving cars are the future. I, of course, 100% agree with that. He's definitely right. I think the markets are definitely liking this because it is quite a bit above the previous year and quite a bit above the previous quarter. So this is definitely good news, and it's quite a bit higher than the previous week. And we are now officially substantially above the previous quarter in terms of deliveries. And to beat the last year's quarter, we just need to be above this green line up from here. James is happy with the deliveries as well. He maintains, though, that quarter over quarter, Tesla's deliveries will be flat in China. His estimate for this quarter is 413,000 deliveries in total globally. And if next week's number in China is also good, he will increase that number. So China is definitely doing better, but Europe, not so much. Keep in mind that these are just a few countries in Europe. We don't have much data there yet.